Hey everybody, welcome to another edition of Inside Guns with your host, me, the Yankee Marshal. You know, often we get distracted, we get busy dealing with the larger challenges to the Second Amendment, the larger threats to our rights as citizens, that we let the little things slip by unnoticed. You know, that's common. But one thing we got to remember is that even their little attacks are part of their bigger plan. You know, if you can't knock a house down with a bulldozer, well, then you start chipping away at the foundation, and eventually it'll fall on its own. And one such attack that we've not been paying attention to right now is the fact that the Biden administration is attacking schools that have any type of programs that teach kids how to handle safely weapons like bows, guns, that teach hunting, etc. If they have any courses, heaven forbid they have a shooting team, like they used to have when I was a kid, they're not going to receive their federal funding, the money that they need to function. So they're basically forcing them to get rid of any type of education about firearms and other weapons. I don't understand this at all because I thought the whole point to the anti-gunners' claims was that they wanted kids to be safe. You know, when they claimed that drugs were a problem and they wanted kids to be safe from drugs, what did they do? They brought in an education program. In fact, DARE officers came to my school, told us basically, here's all the drugs that you never even heard of before, but now you know them. Here's what they do. Here's where you can pretty much find them. Here's almost how much they're going to cost. So they did that when they didn't want us to do drugs. But it seems like now when they say, well, they want kids to be safe around firearms, whenever there's a course that actually would teach that, be it an archery course or a shooting team or a hunting course that teaches kids firearm safety and safety around weapons, they don't want it there. And in fact, if you have it, they're not going to give you your federal funding. And these schools count on this money, especially in like southern states and states that, you know, pay in less than they take back from the federal government. Those states really need that money for their schools. And they're using this new, the Bipartisan Safe Communities Act thing, saying, well, now, according to this, if you have those programs, we can't fund you. Forcing them to get rid of them. Or else close down because they can't stay open without federal funding. And most of these schools would be in southern states, states that don't tend to vote for people like the Bidens. So I almost think it's a form of a little bit of revenge, but it's mostly all about their agenda of taking guns completely out of the lexicon. They don't want it to be part of the zeitgeist of America, because that's the biggest problem for the anti-gunners right now. Firearms are ingrained in our culture, our Constitution. We understand the importance of an individual being powerful and being capable and being self-reliant to a degree. And the government doesn't want that. This new government that is run almost entirely by one percenters, billionaires, and the politicians they purchase, you know, they buy them right out of law school, train them, and then send them into elections and get them elected, and then they do their bidding. The people who own these politicians, they don't want a capable American population. They don't want armed individuals. They want us to be compliant. They want us to be, you know, good little workers, good little producers, good little consumers who have no ability to fight back against the status quo that keeps them where they are and prevents anybody else from taking their place or even a portion of what they have. So the Biden administration, like I said now, is using this rule to say if you have a hunting group, if you have a course on hunting or archery or have a shooting team, you can't get federal funding for your school. And this is all, like I said, part of their let's take guns out of the consciousness of people. We want them gone completely. And this is something we shouldn't be standing for. We shouldn't be allowing the government to take control of the schools and what they offer on a political level because of their stupid little bipartisan group, community act thing. It's all garbage based on garbage. We shouldn't be allowing them to do that. Because like I said, if they can get it to where kids aren't interested in guns and don't know anything about guns, within the next generation will be, like I said, just that much more helpless because of it. So that's what they're doing. I don't know how many of you paid attention to this, but it is heinous. Like I said, when they didn't want you to do drugs, they educated you on it. When they don't want you to misuse firearms, instead of educating you, they want to completely take it off the table. I, for one, would think they would want there to be courses in schools that say, hey, little 7, 8-year-old, if you're going to see a gun somewhere, if you find a gun in your house even, don't touch it. Go get an adult. It's not for you. You think you'd want them educated to that. And if they're a little older and they're participating in hunting, 8, 10, 12, and they're going to be out hunting with an adult, you think they would want them to know the basic safeties of hunting. You'd think that, but they don't, because it's not about safety. It's about eliminating firearms and eliminating one of the things that keeps us a free people. And plus, also, I don't like the whole demonizing hunting things. I'm not a big fan of hunting. I don't hunt. I used to hunt when I was younger. I don't now. But there's nothing intrinsically wrong with hunting. In fact, it's a good thing. It's a great thing. It's something everybody should be able to do. But then able to say, I don't want to because I have a grocery store. But you should have the skills, at least the basic skills. So it's a great thing. Even as much of an animal lover as everybody knows I am. I mean, we run Pets and Vets program, and I center mostly on the pets. And if you want to support Pets and Vets, you can do that by coming to our live chats or being a patron of the channel. If you want to, I love animals. That's not in debate. But as much as I love animals, I still recognize that hunting is important and that there's nothing inhumane about it if done properly. Of course, I don't like poaching or baiting or things like that are cruel, but hunting as a way to put food on the table is an American tradition. And it should be taught in schools, safety, while you're going to be doing it, especially in rural areas where they know, hey, these kids are going to go out hunting with their parents or their uncle or their friends or whatever. They need to know the basics of safety. That just makes sense. This is a part of their life. It's part of their culture. You want them to be able to engage in it as safely as possible, so this whole notion that if you do it, we're going to take away your federal funding and shut you down is heinous. And a lot of people might think this is a little thing. It's not a big thing, not worth getting really that worked up about. You people get worked up about whether you can buy a bump stock or whether you should be able to buy a pistol brace. When you should really be saying we just need to get rid of the NFA so we can buy automatic guns and make all the SBRs we want. You get stuck up on those ridiculous little arguments. And those really aren't helping anybody or hurting anybody, really. This hurts. This is actually, like I said, trying to take guns out of the consciousness of younger people. And there are a lot of them, like I said, they're going to be engaging in things where they're around guns, hunting with family. They should know the safety measures. They should know how to do it as best they can. So I just wanted to point that out to people. I try not to be, it's right against left or it's Democrat against Republican. But right now it's the Biden administration that's doing this. So if you weren't aware, now you're aware. Let people know, spread the word. This is an attack that should not be allowed to stand. This is something that should be challenged, and I hope that soon it will be. All right, with that being said, before I go, I want to remind people, if you want to be a part of the Save the 40s campaign and you want to be on that scroll that's at the end of every video, just go on over to TYMPpistolproject.com, buy yourself some Save the 40s merchandise. Feel free to buy any merchandise while you're over there, but if you want to be on the scroll at the end, buy yourself something that says Save the 40s on it. You will automatically be registered as part of the Save the 40s campaign, and your name will appear on that scroll at the end of the video. So like I said, use that link that's going to pop up here in a few seconds. Go on over, buy yourself some merch, and help us save the 40s. And with that being said, I am out of here. Hope you enjoyed the show, and I hope to see you again tomorrow. Until then, remember, always carry and stay safe until I see you again.